Ew, reply. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So this class that I'm doing a review on, Asias, I just have so much to say. I just finished Asias. This was a very strugglesome class for me. Like, the past 3 weeks have been, there's been a lot of tears, there's been a lot of crying. Let me just explain briefly. I went into this class kind of nervous because I'm not really familiar with Asian cuisine, cooking with it. I love Asian food, but like, just not really familiar with it. I went through every single day thinking that I was failing. I was like really stressed out every single day because I thought, you know, this specific chef did give me the impression that I was failing. I did kind of mess up on a few homework assignments, so I understand that when he talked to me initially, so I didn't really get off to a good start, but that's my fault completely. Let me just fast forward to the end of the very last day of class, which was a couple days ago. The chef told us that he really enjoyed having us in class, which was shocking to us because we honestly all thought that he hated us, and he told us, yeah, I really liked having you guys in the class. This was the first class I've had so much fun with in a long time. And I was like, what? I was shook because I thought he hated us. But let me just get into how the class went and then I'll get all into that. We didn't use the course guide once. This specific chef has his own website separate from actual Moodle, which is what we use to communicate with our teachers. So he had his own separate thing, and it was very stressful because we didn't understand how to use it. He required us to go into this course blog every day and click links, and it was just, in the beginning it was very overwhelming because we didn't really understand like why we had to go through all this stuff on Moodle, watch all these videos on Moodle, and also go into his website and watch all these videos. Everybody knows at the school, like, it's common knowledge that stuff that is put on Moodle, you open every single thing that's on that Moodle site because they know if you opened it or not, or if you're just trying to bullshit your way through class, like, they know. So you go through everything and you open that damn thing at least once. It was an everyday thing with him. Like, he had us open his stuff every day. I got marked off a lot of points because there was so many times that I went through this, like, everything, and I, you know, didn't open everything, but it's like I opened everything on one side but not the other side. So does that make sense or not really? So every day we would have to go onto this blog, which is, I get exactly what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to switch all his stuff over to the website on Moodle because it just, like, he likes the way his stuff is going right now, which I completely get. It was just a matter of organization. I think it was like a miscommunication to us as the students and him as the chef, because he wanted us to do all this stuff but we weren't really understanding, because our class had a meeting with him from the beginning before class even started, and we were just like, oh my god, like, there's a website to a website to a website to a website, you have to go through everything. I understand what he's trying to do because he wants you to review your information before you go into class, review your recipes, watch all the videos that he has up on how to fabricate, how to do this certain thing, how to plate it. So I completely get it, but the thing that we struggled with the most was we would watch the videos or whatever, prepare ourselves before class, do timelines, but then he did not want you to ask questions. Like, and if you had a question, you had to write it on the course blog to express that you were confused or something, but he wanted to know that you retained the information and that you went in and did your research. Like, if you don't know what to do, you reached out to him prior to class, not just bombarded him in class, which I get. Now looking back on it, I completely get it, but it's so funny because going through it, I was like, this guy is trying to torture us. Like, nothing we do is right. It was just very dramatic the way that I was looking at it, and now that I'm out of it, I can kind of look back and like pick at it and say, no, you know, that's his way of teaching. I was in the wrong for just blaming and pointing fingers and saying that it was his fault, blah blah blah. This class I learned probably the most educational wise because this specific chef, he was so knowledgeable. He's traveled all over the world. He like works with this food. He has his own pop-up shop. He he was just very knowledgeable in what he does, and I respect him so much for it. He really did try to like go out of his way to teach us as much as he could, and he even like showed us pictures of his trips because he's been all over the world, which is so freaking cool. Education wise, I learned the most in this class by far because he really went that extra mile to teach us everything. He definitely was a tough cookie, like, to our class, because we were so used to chefs kind of saying, wow, you guys are such an amazing class, like, you're such a strong group, blah blah blah. He was just like, no, like, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this wrong and stuff. So it was just exhausting because every day we would be like, where do we stand in this class? Like, we have no idea. Let me just go through the course guide really quick. Days 1, 2, and 3 are China. Days 4 and 5, Korea. Days 6 and 7, Japan. Days 8 and 9, Vietnam. Days 10 and 11, Thailand. And days 12, 13, and 14, India. China, obviously, was a lot of noodles, a lot of stir fry, a lot of fried rice, just stuff that I've worked with before, so it wasn't like too complicated. I think the coolest thing about this class was for sure working with the woks and just like, you know, learning how to work with a wok, because these things are freaking huge. There's really big ones and then there's small ones. I've never worked with a wok before, so it was really interesting to learn how to work with that and like use different things. You could literally, I never knew how much that you could do with a wok. Like, I thought it was specifically for stir fry. Get your hands on stuff that you weren't really familiar with before. The cool thing about this chef specifically is he would order like really cool ingredients like from all over the world, and he knew his stuff, so he was not ordering bad ingredients or like knockoff American shitty ingredients, if that makes sense. So it was like authentic cuisine that we were doing. Every time we had a new continent or country or whatever for Asia's, we would have a tasting and we would sit down during lecture and taste every weird ingredient. A lot of fish sauce, a lot of just condiments, a lot of like oyster sauce, a lot of stuff that you're just not used to working with, and you don't really like think about working with unless you're really working at this type of restaurant, or if you're in Southeast Asia, for instance. I think the craziest part of this class was learning the flavor of umami. He was very like adamant about teaching us about umami, developing our taste buds to learning the umami taste, because I was actually confused about it before I was in this class. I have to taste all these foods to understand what umami is. So this class was super helpful with developing my palate and just trying different ingredients. We tried MSG, which was pretty crazy. I've heard about MSG. I know it's not good for you, but I've never really done any research about anything about MSG, so I was kind of confused by the whole thing. So it was just really cool. Like, he went above and beyond to get us the types of ingredients that we've never really worked with, and he really was like, try everything, make sure you try everything. Like, I think my least favorite day was India, just because it was just so, I really like spicy food. I love Indian food, which is super weird, but I don't know, just like those stuff that we were eating was just not my favorite. It just wasn't my favorite to cook with. I think my favorite day was for sure Thailand, because I just love Thai food, and like getting to work with different curries and coconut milk and like lemongrass to the fullest extent, and like using, you know, making different soups and using all those different types of ingredients that I love eating but I've never cooked. This is the biggest advice that I can give to you guys. During this class, I legitimately thought that I was failing every day. I thought he hated me. I thought it was just a shitty class. I had a lot of doubts about the school. The school is just like not as great as I thought. I just realized that it's all self-doubt. I was frustrated with the class because I wasn't familiar with all the foods that I was cooking, but like I wanted to learn, but it just didn't seem like it was like available for me to learn fully. I never felt comfortable asking him like questions because I didn't want to get yelled at or points taken off, because I would look at my grade for like a daily grade and I would fail for the day, and I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I don't understand why I'm failing. It's gonna be hard. You're not gonna always get chefs that you want. You're not always gonna work with partners that you want to work with. You just have to fight through it, because I was like, why the French am I doing this? Like, every day is just stressful. Like, why am I going through this? Why am I putting myself through this? This didn't make sense to me. I was like questioning my whole life. I tend to do that a lot. This class was very helpful because I learned how to look at different ingredients and work with different ingredients. But just, this can go with anything in life, but this class specifically tested my patience very much, and I was very happy to be done with it. Like, I literally cried on the last day. Every day was just, I was stressed going in because I didn't want to do something wrong, or I didn't want to like mess up. I noticed that towards the end he got a little like more comfortable with us and like talking to us. I think at the halfway point, which was really bad, chef specifically, he was very close with Anthony Bourdain, and this was during the time that Anthony Bourdain killed himself, and so it was a really hard time because, you know, obviously Anthony Bourdain is a very big inspiration and big part of the CIA, and he happened to be a really big part of this specific chef's life. And it was very hard for everybody because he told us that day that it happened, and it was just very like weird vibes. It was just a sad time. I don't know, it just made a soft spot, I guess, in our class because we realized it's horrible. It just put things into perspective. Like, things could be a lot worse than we're going through right now in class. Even though it seems like you're gonna die, like, even if you wake up every morning you're like, fuck, like I really don't want to go, because that was me. I really didn't want to go, and even a lot of my classmates, we were just all losing motivation towards the end of it. But you just gotta keep pushing along, keep pushing yourself, because at the end of the class you'll feel so much more rewarded, and that's what happened with us. I was so shocked that he said that he was happy to have us and he had so much fun with us because we were all just like taken back, you know? Just keep pushing it through. I know it's like hard, and this is like the hardest advice that I can give because I know how hard it is. This was more mentally challenging than anything because I was just questioning myself every day. This class for sure learned the most, got my hands on the most stuff, and was the hardest class so far, for sure, mentally. It was just tough for me. I think that's all I have to say, you guys. Just keep pushing along. If you're in this class, or if you're even at the CIA at some point, just keep going, push yourself. The reward is so much better at the end when you just keep grinding, because when he did say that he loved us as a class, I was like, wow, you just gotta keep going, all right? And I'm going into wines literally tomorrow, so I'm schwatting bricks because this is gonna be the hardest class. Oh my god, wish me luck. RIP to my soul, because I don't know exactly what's gonna come of this. Wines is just like super informational. It's like a freaking history class, like death forever. So I'm gonna go get studying now. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. This one was probably a little longer than anticipated, but whatever. This was my last kitchen class before I go into restaurant row. So this is just crazy. Like, I have 15 weeks left. This is freaking crazy. Like, this will be for a separate one. This is just a review, but I hope you guys enjoyed that review, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!